Hey everyone, how are you? How are you? How are you? It is Wednesday and I am coming to you for our 10-minute Power Pow Wow. For all of you all that I do not know, I am Lolita E. Walker. I am a certified life leadership and executive coach. I am a speaker, a facilitator, a podcaster, a two-time author, all of the things. But I come to you really for coaching, cocktails, and conversations. Now, if this is your first time here, coaching is all about leaving you with a couple nuggets just to challenge your thinking. Cocktails is not so much about what you are sipping on, but it is absolutely no judgment. And then there's those juicy conversations, some of which I want to bring you right here. So we are going live at Facebook in my private Facebook group, Coaching Cocktails and Conversations. Come on into the room. It's free. We would love to have you. LinkedIn and YouTube. And as always, whether you are watching live or you are watching in a replay, go ahead and leave a comment. If you are here live, then I'll absolutely give you a shout out while you are here. If you choose to come onto the kitchen table, as I like to call it, and add in your input, which is always great. Today, in this 10-minute Power Powwow, the goal really is to talk to you about why retreat, why now? Why retreat? Why now? Just the notion of the word retreat and someone asking you about it sometimes give people the heebie-jeebies. Sometimes it makes you nervous because we believe that we have to be at all the places at all the times because the world will shut down. I've been there. So I'm not saying it with judgment. I'm saying it because I have absolutely been there. And sometimes I find myself still in that cycle, still in that spin of overwhelm. And I have to do this thing. I have to do this thing right now. There's no way that I can take a break. So I want to come to you all today because this here is 10 minutes on why retreat, why now? Why should you make time for you in the midst of what feels like chaos, right? That's what we're talking about today. Now, I put a couple questions up here, and it's so funny. I was talking to one of my clients this morning on a run, and she said, I was typing this, and I said, why do we take so long to give ourselves permission to pause? What in our lives is so amazingly critical that it takes away from you leaning into you? So I'll ask you, why do you take so long to give yourself permission to pause? And as you drill down inside of that piece right there, whether you're at work, whether you're at home, whether you are doing this thing called life, the thing is that we think we have to be there to do everything. We feel this amazing pressure of overwhelm sometimes because everybody needs us to be in a place at the time. But what if, remember earlier this week when we did the 10-minute Power Powwow on what if the problem is you? What if the problem is you? What if you could give yourself permission today to pause? What if you could plan yourself into your day? What if you can add in self? On my calendar, I have a purple bucket and it's called self. That's the bucket name, it's self. A time block. And inside of that time block, I have something that says self. And there's an alarm to it. Actually, there's two alarms to it. And that time is really for me because what I've recognized is that if I don't take time for me, then I won't be able to give that time to anybody else. And I'm talking about to my family. I'm talking about to work, to those projects that you have to do, to all of the stuff that you say that you're not able to do so that you can retreat. If you're just now getting here, we are talking today about giving yourself permission to pause. We're talking today about why retreat, why now? So yes, I am going to talk to you about my Women's Weekend Renewal Retreat, and I actually am going to talk to you about why I started these. This will be the 10th one. I don't know if you knew that. And this will be the 10th retreat that I'm having, and really it's because in the midst of me going to other retreats and me feeling this thing, I just felt kind of empty leaving. I was filled for the moment, but I needed a little bit more. I needed a little bit more to power me when I left because real life happens when you leave those doors. And I woke up one day and I said, that's it. I'm hosting a retreat. Done and done. Went into my savings account, grabbed two of my good girlfriends that I thought would add immense value to the equation, which they absolutely did. And one of them continues to today. But I said, this is it. And this is what I want. I want somewhere that's not a hotel. I want somewhere that we can commune together. I want somewhere that's not too many people. I want somewhere we're going to be able to pour into people. And it's not just me. I'm powerful where I stand, but I also need to be poured into as well. So I will hire some other experts to come to the party with us to be able to pour in. And that right there was amazing. This thing has grown so much, and it is my 10th retreat. I'm so excited. September 15th through the 18th in West Virginia. But I share this with you because it's not an easy answer sometimes to say, oh my gosh, 4 days away. How am I going to do that? And so many people struggle with that. So if you are working right now, if you're an entrepreneur right now, if you are in corporate right now, if you are not even working right now, wherever you find yourself, I want you to know that you too can give yourself permission to pause. And what if it didn't look like a pause to you? But what if you were to say, if I would choose to transform me, I can absolutely transform those around me. The way I walk, the way I talk, the way I behave will be so different that the people around me will be able to feel it. So much so that a gentleman asked me, and I will do it, I promise. A gentleman asked me if I would consider having retreats for men, not the 4 days, but just a 1 day kind of offsite for men when their significant others come back from our retreat because they've shifted so much and they want to know how exactly that they can help support. My question to you is this: why retreat? Why now? Why do you give yourself permission to pause? And what I will say for me is because it's so important that I find that time, because there's a reset that needs to happen. There's a reset that helps you to, one, be grateful and where you stand, two, to embrace where it is that you are, three, to just be reminded on what's the stuff that Lolita likes to do, what's the stuff that brings me passion, and then how can I bring that passion into my everyday. See, the thing about what I'm talking about here is why retreat, why now? Is not just about coming to my retreat, which by the way is very good. Transformation happens there. But it's really about giving yourself this permission to feel your power, this permission to even reignite it, this permission to say, hey there, I remember you. And now I want to up level you. You know why? Because you absolutely deserve it. So when I say why retreat, why now, let's think about the definition of retreat. It's really to withdraw. It's really to choose intentionally to withdraw from everything that is happening around you, such that you can now pour into you, such that you can now rediscover you, such that now you can really reevaluate the greatness that other people already see within you. I hope this is making sense. It makes sense to me, right? I come to you for these 10-minute power powwows because I want to pour into you the way I wish sometimes somebody would have poured into me. Right. And I've had a great upbringing. I've had amazing people in my circle, but sometimes we need to push a little bit more. And I ask myself sometimes, Lolita, are you doing enough? Yeah, I'm doing enough. But in that enough, is there more that we can do? And so when I say more, I don't mean to take on more tasks. Don't get it confused. When I say more, I mean to up level my thinking, my mindset, to really challenge myself differently. If I am around 10 people every day, have I really looked at the skill sets and the strengths that these 10 people bring to the table and how they could possibly help me to meet my goals of where my future self is at the end of 2022? Have I really reached out to them intently and been vulnerable and said, you know what? Guess what? Here is what I want within this next month. Here is where my thoughts, my vision is within this next month. And I think that this skill set that you bring or this connection that you have could really help me get to that place. Now, I might be just talking to me, but I want to challenge you to really look at the 10 people around you and really challenge yourself in saying, am I worth a retreat for myself so that I can better pour into some of these people who have poured into me? Is it worth a retreat so now I can look around at the people that are surrounding me and want to help me so that now I can show up differently, right? That is the challenge for today. Now we're almost to our 10-minute mark. We're at 9 minutes and 37 seconds. I mean, the time just goes by so quickly. So if you did not have an opportunity to lean in today and let me know how you're feeling or what your thoughts are on this topic, don't worry. you can add it into the comments, and then you can come on over to Coaching, Cocktails, and Conversations, my private Facebook group, which I actually am going to go live in there in a second, so that we can have a conversation on this. I don't know why I woke up feeling so passionate about this topic today. Why retreat? Why now? And this notion of us not giving ourselves permission to simply pause. So I want to encourage you today to look around, acknowledge and be grateful for those that are surrounding you, and then give yourself permission to pause. Give yourself a minute to breathe and step back, because overwhelm doesn't own you. Nope, I'm not claiming it for you. And I'm definitely not claiming it for me. We've got too much stuff that we've got to do, too much world to shake up and help to propel beyond where you stand today. Listen, if you want to stay connected, you can. Like I told you, my private Facebook group is always available for you. You can also go to lolitawalker.com. I have this amazing retreat that is coming up September 15th through the 18th that you can read all about at lolitawalker.com. And for now, I'll see you guys who are in my private Facebook group in just a second. See you later. Bye.